Or perhaps you yourself were touched by the Muncie Milan game or by some other uniquely Hoosier experience, environment, or happenstance. And if you happen to put that down in verse, you might wish to consider submitting it for a new volume of poetry. And know this place, Poetry of Indiana. Jenny Kander, originally from South Africa, is one of the editors for the upcoming volume to be published by IU Press.
We're looking for poetry from people who have spent enough time here to have a sense of what life is like here, whether it's life in the wild, which probably would involve things such as hunting or any aspect of association with the wilds of Indiana, rural life, city life, family life in Indiana, farming in Indiana.
Kander says although she hasn't lived most of her life in Indiana, her own poetry has become greatly informed by her new environment. Kander says, of course, poets and poetry are affected and informed by their surroundings, and there's no such thing as an ivory tower.
We're intimately bound up with nature, far beyond what we're conscious of, I think, and I don't think there's any question about that. In a spiritual sense as well, and that deeply affects me. And where I live and the rhythm of the seasons, the flora and fauna, and all of this makes up my life.
According to the submission guidelines, we'll read the URL address at the end of the story, Indiana must be central to the poems that are submitted, although the poem shouldn't read like a guidebook to Brown County. Instead, Kander says, a writer's context or statement of up to 10 lines is required as a companion to each poem.
This is the point. This is why we want the context, because a poem might be very much grounded in Indiana, but not actually giving, a particular statement that, this is about downtown Indianapolis, for instance. But nevertheless, that's the experience that's being written about. So we would be including in the book the 10-line statements, the 10-line contexts, for the poems that we do accept.
Kander says poets are invited to submit up to 4 poems of no more than 2.5 pages each. Any poetic style may be submitted. Previously unpublished works are preferred, but she says published works may also be submitted if clearly identified. For more information on the guidelines, go online to bloomington.in.us//JM Kander with a K /new.htm. That's bloomington.in.us//JM Kander with a K /new.htm. Or enter Indiana ArtsDesk into your favorite search engine and check out our links page. We should have it up by the end of the day on Friday. The deadline for poetry submissions to And Know This Place is April 15th. I think we can all remember that day, no? Now it's time for the Arts Calendar.